Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. My name's Alyssa and this is Britton. So today I'm going to be reviewing Poison Ivy: Cycle of Life and Death 6-part series that finished a couple weeks ago, I think, I want to say. Well, I finished it a while ago and we haven't got a chance to film it.
Nope.
So now we are. And so I'm just gonna take you guys, I guess, book by book and then tell you what I thought of it at the end. Well, first book, Poison Ivy is given the opportunity to work with plants in like this botanical research facility, and she's really happy with it, being around plants and everything. She basically got like a clean background, that's how she got the job. Then Harley comes in to kind of check up on her, and she just is kind of like, go away, you know, I have a really good job here and I don't want to, you know, leave this, whatever, and go back to your ways and all that. Not really much happens in the first book until the very end, where one of Poison Ivy's colleagues that she works with ends up being killed or murdered, I guess, at the end of the issue. And then that's when we come to the second one, where everyone thinks that it's just an accident, because I guess she was found like with a poisonous plant next to her, you know, when she was dead. Everyone just thought it was an accident, and Poison Ivy, she was kind of pushing for it to be investigated more. Poison Ivy's boss, he's the head administrator at the lab, his name is Victor. He is kind of pushing for it to be ruled as just like an accident, so which obviously makes Ivy suspicious, and it's like, okay, why are you pushing for this? You know, it makes you seem suspicious. Victor also revealed in this issue that he knows about Ivy's background, but he doesn't tell anyone, so it's kind of weird how he's just kind of withholding that. And this is also the issue where Poison Ivy, she kind of delves more into creating these like sporling hybrids of her that are just like her, and that'll just kind of continue on with the rest of the issues. At the end of this issue, we see them born. Also at the end of the issue, there's another person who works there at the lab. His name is Eric Grimley, and he's the chairman of the plant sciences department, and he gets murdered at the end of this issue also. Issue 3, obviously we have a murderer and the police are just like trying to investigate it, like what's going on. They suspect Poison Ivy might have something to do with it, but then they kind of back off from her because they said that she has friends in high places, as how they put it, so that's how they kind of got to back off from her a little bit. She also gets closer to one of the guys that she works with there at the lab, which is kind of interesting to see. It'll kind of progress even more in the issues. And then also in this issue, her babies, I guess, are just kind of growing up a little bit, so you just kind of see that going on. Poison Ivy realizes that someone's after her babies next because someone breaks into her house and tries to like steal them or something, and luckily she gets there in time before anything happens. So then she enlists the help of Catwoman to try and figure out what's happening. Also, I forgot to mention that in the very first issue, when Poison Ivy was kind of in development of her sporlings, her research on all of that was stolen also when her first colleague was murdered. So that's also kind of why she enlists the help of Catwoman, is to help her get like her research stuff back too. Then she also has to bring her guy coworker along, because he was kind of there when all of this went down at Poison Ivy's place with her babies and all that, so they kind of are forced to bring him. The next issue, her co-worker, he got some blueprints to the building, the research facility where they were. They get into one of the buildings, like one of the old abandoned buildings that's kind of part of the facility, and they discover some pretty horrific stuff. They find Victor, the guy that was supposedly murdered. He was frozen, and then Poison Ivy gets kind of angry because they find her stolen research, and so she just goes crazy and starts destroying everything. And then they also discover one of the experiments that they had going on that they'd stolen the research from Poison Ivy from. They had made one of her sporelings, I guess, and it was a little bit older than Poison Ivy's babies that she had made. So they took her, that way they could obviously save her or whatever, and took her back to Poison Ivy's place. That way they could all be together or whatever, she could be out of that place. And then they kill Victor also because he was kind of part of this whole thing, how that research got stolen, and she was just angry. So the 5th issue, her babies are growing up, or they've pretty much grown up. They're like a little bit older than teenagers, and they are kind of getting restless because they're stuck in the house all day, every day, and so it just kind of sucks for them. So they sneak out one night, and they're just like, you know, how bad could it be? You know, it can't be too terrible, the outside world, woohoo. So they go out, and it's fine at first, and then some things happen, and then Poison Ivy has to come to the rescue and get them, and then she brings them back, and then they're grounded. Well, even though they were already technically grounded anyways, because they could never leave. So that whole thing is just kind of weird. And at the end of the issue, Poison Ivy goes outside, and she hears this really strange, familiar voice, and it's this like creepy monster thing at the end that we see, and that'll obviously transition into the last issue. So the last issue, it turns out that Eric Grimley, Dr. Grimley, he used Poison Ivy's research stuff to make himself immortal because he was going through like cancer. He had cancer or something, some kind of illness, and so he injected himself with, you know, whatever to make himself immortal, but he needs something from Poison Ivy's sporling things to help actually like cure him and make him immortal actually. And so he tries to get them, and so obviously all of them, including Poison Ivy, has to try and defeat him, and of course they do. At the very end of this series, this issue, you see Poison Ivy's sporelings. They go run off to just kind of try and like find themselves, I guess, be their own, do their own thing, and they get the help of Poison Ivy's colleague, Darshan, and he, you know, helps them get off into a train and, you know, just discover life for themselves. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like they left it off to where they could make like a second series to go off like with it. Poison Ivy's sporelings, their perspective. So if they do that, you never know, it might be interesting. Obviously they're not like super prominent characters, so I don't know, we might see them, like if there's another Poison Ivy series, then they might appear, who knows. But overall I enjoyed the series, and it was just, you know, one story obviously throughout, and it was pretty good. I just really like Poison Ivy as a person, and you definitely got to see like a better side of her in this series than just like, you know, Harley Quinn's sidekick, villain, whatever. So that was really nice to see. So I really like that. And so it's kind of like she's an anti-hero. Is that what it is? Yeah. Anti-hero in this series, which was great. It was different, but I liked it. So yeah, overall, if you like Poison Ivy or any DC related stuff like that, then you should definitely read it. It's only 6 issues, so it's not like it's super long, and yeah, just a good little story. So I liked it.
Alright.
Alright?
Alright.
Alright.
Alright. What was your favorite part?
I don't know if I had a favorite part. I really liked...
Your favorite issue that you got through?
I mean, I liked how kind of her relationship with her colleague. That was kind of that.
Thingy?
Yeah, her colleague. It was kind of interesting to see throughout how their relationship developed. I mean, it didn't develop into anything serious, obviously, but it was just kind of interesting. But yeah, just seeing I guess the love that she had for her babies, that's really sweet.
Her motherly instincts.
Yeah, so that was just really cool. And I liked when they saved that other one from that research facility, the older-ish one. I really liked it, and I think you guys should read it. And yeah, if you have read this series, please tell us in the comments down below, or if you have any other series for us if you have any other series to recommend to us to read, then also put that in the comments. I think that's all I pretty much had to say about it. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And that's it.
That's it.
That's all I have for you.
Alright.
Alright. Thank you guys for watching.